Talk Baseball, brought to you by the tobacco companies located in the Oak Brook Shopping Center and in Old Chicago and Bolingbrook. Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia for the second game of the series. And Dennis Lamp, who threw the shutout in his last outing against the New York Mets Friday at Wrigley Field for his first Major League victory, gets the assignment tonight against a fellow who it seems to me has been around about as long as a game of baseball. Jim Cott, Lou.
Yes,
it's quite a contrast.
Yes, he's quite a pitcher. They've been saying that Cott's going to be left off of a Major League roster for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
But he still gains that starting role.
And he says he's in better shape right now than he has been in years, the age of 39. I was watching him go through some flexibility exercises last night where he lies down on his back and one of their trainers works on him and he's able to bring his leg up and then touch his chest with the knee of that leg.
You're trying to tell me something?
Well, just think about it, you know.
I don't even want to think about it.
It really hurts. Let's see how he can do as a pitcher. This will be his first appearance on the hill for the Phillies this year.
Well, the Cubs have the same lineup, Vince, but they've changed it around a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. You got Cruz in center field. Pines out in left. Bobby Mercer in right. Dave Kingman again at first base. And I like the way he handled that first base job last night.
Yes, he handled it quite well. I wish he'd start hitting, though.
It would help. I think he feels very much the same way. He could have busted it open in the third inning. That game just could have been absolutely turned around. It could have been the Cubs with a lopsided victory.
Absolutely.
But they'll have to go out after Cott tonight and see if they can't even up the series. A bizarre happening, of course, when Donnie Moore, coming in to field a bunt on the third base side, threw to third. Unfortunately, Olivares was almost standing beside him, and nobody was over there to take it except the Philadelphia ball girl down the foul line. And Dave Rader said it was my mistake. I told him to go there. So that's one of those things. And it just led to nothing but Disastersville from that point on. But I hope the ball club is not down. I imagine Joe Wallace is upset a little bit about not having a chance to start.
I think he has a right to be also, Vince, and you know he wants to play, and he desires to play, and he's worked hard. He does his running early and extra hitting and gets out in that outfield, and personally, I think he deserves to play.
Well, based on his performance Sunday when he got a shot at starting out there, a surprise assignment for him. Came in as a pinch hitter last night, got a base hit. Not too bad, and I think overall he's our best center fielder.
Yes. I can see Herman Franks' idea if it is this, and I've done it sometimes when I was managing. I know what Wallace can do. Therefore, I want to see if Cruz can handle center field, if Kleins can handle center field, or Gross. Mm-hmm. So I have a backup behind my number one man, Wallace. I'm just hoping that I can win some ball games while I'm sort of experimenting. Even though I experimented in spring training, I still haven't made up my mind who I may trade if asked, you see.
And this is the time to do it, not wait until September. And this is the time for all you pipe smokers out there. How would you like to get 50% off on the pipes that you buy and your pipe tobacco? You can. And you can also get free pipe repair service and free pipe cleaners. How you doing, everybody? Lou Boudreau with the leadoff man from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Cubs are hoping to even up this three-game series with the Phillies tonight by sending Dennis Lamp against the Phillies. He's going to go against another southpaw, Jim Cott. The leadoff man is brought to you by Yale Insurance Agencies. We'll be talking to our guest, the hero of yesterday's victory, or last night's victory, Randy Lersch, left-handed pitcher of the, I should say left-handed pitcher and hitter, let's say, of the Philadelphia Phillies in just 1 minute. Say, are you buying a new car? Out to your nearby community store, but don't wait. Get all the money-saving facts tonight. Call 427-6322 right now. 427-6322 or drive in. That's Yale, the lower-cost auto insurance people. Randy Lersch, who, to me last night, I know, startled everybody and perhaps himself with his hitting. But to me last night, Lersch sort of developed into a pitcher from my observations from the last couple of years. Randy, you were throwing the curveball. It seemed like you were changing the speeds of the ball, and you had a little difficulty with control, but when you needed it, you gave the Cubs a strike, and they couldn't touch you. They had one chance at you, and you got through with that, and then it was all she wrote. Have you changed any of your style during spring training this year?
Well, I don't think it was the style as much as last year I just didn't have the consistency in my breaking pitches, and therefore I couldn't throw it when I got in a jam. And when I went to spring training this year, I got in my mind that, first thing on the agenda would be to come up with a consistency in my breaking pitch and change up. So that's pretty much all I worked on, and so far this year, it's worked out well for me.
It's quite difficult to stand out there, even though you have a great fastball, to continue to throw fastballs past these major league hitters. You have to have another pitch.
Oh, that's definite. Any time that these major league hitters can wait and look for something, no matter where you get the ball, as long as they can look for it, they're going to get the bat on it. And, anytime you put the ball in play on this acid turf, you got a heck of a chance of getting a hit and therefore getting hurt. So you got to keep them off balance a heck of a lot, or you're going to get hurt a lot in this league.
Early in the ball game, were you strong, actually too strong for yourself?
Very much so. I don't know if you know it, but that was my 8th day of rest, and I was really strong, and it took me a while to settle down and get my composure out there.
Well, can you answer this? Sometimes we mention on the radio that the pitcher is too strong. Our pitchers are too strong at the beginning. Then they seem to tire a little bit and find better control and a better curveball or a breaking pitch. But then people ask me the questions when I mention that. A pitcher will run the bases, get tired, then he won't be able to have anything. Is there a difference in that?
Yeah, I think so, Lou. I think it's a difference in just your legs and stuff. Pitching is all your arm and not only arm, but your legs, and running the bases kind of wins you and everything, and whereas if you're too strong and everything, you feel too good and you tend to overthrow the ball. And anytime you overthrow the ball, you have less movement on the ball, and the ball tends to move out of the strike zone. So I think it's just the tendency of overthrowing the ball when you're too strong, and I think it's feeling too doggone good out there instead of just kind of laying back and just being free and easy and just kind of laying the ball in there.
Has Boone, your catcher, improved insofar as calling games?
Oh, I think Boone's done the same good job he always does. He's a good catcher back there, and he calls a real good ball game for us. But let's face it, if you got to know your pitcher's weaknesses out there, and he knew that I had trouble throwing the ball, breaking pitches consistently over the plate, and so how can you call for it? And now this year he knows I can throw it over with consistency, and he knows what to go with, and we're mixing them up good, and it's working out real good for us.
And it certainly has increased your confidence as a pitcher, hasn't it?
Oh, for sure. Anytime you have confidence in that break and stuff, and then, if, in my case, throw pretty hard, it's a real big plus for you.
Let's talk a little bit about hitting. I know all pitchers like to talk about hitting. Last night, there was no bloopers off of your bat. I'll tell you, that home run was well tagged. You must have known that was out as soon as you made contact, giving yourself a 2-1 lead, and then doubling against the wall also in that ball game. I know that this Philadelphia ball club has some good hitting pitchers, but those two socks had to make you feel quite good that night.
Well, it's one of the greatest feelings in my life. I think besides having, when our daughter was born, this had to be the second, because let's face it, you always dream of hitting a Major League home run and winning a Major League game, and my biggest dream was hitting a Major League home run, and it took a long time to do it, but I did it, and it was a great feeling for me.
Do the Philadelphia pitchers get much batting practice?
No, not at all. We only get maybe 10 minutes a day only at home. We don't hit it all on the road, so we have to work on our hitting pretty much in spring training, and we work in the cages quite a bit. I know I hit 3 buckets of balls, and every time I turned around, anytime the cage was open, there seemed to be a Philly pitcher in there. So we work pretty faithfully on the hitting in spring.
Randy, with a pitching staff that you have of Carlton, Lomborg, Lurch, Cott tonight, Christensen, this means that you may get 4 or 5 days rest between starts.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I mean, it's a long schedule. It's and early in the season when you're not playing as many games, you have a lot of off days. You don't get as much work. But as the season gets on and it gets a little bit hotter out, you want the extra rest, because you do tend to tire a little bit. You need that extra day. But early in the season, it is too much rest.
Have you ever asked to go down to the bullpen in between those days of starting?
Oh, I always throw. Let's see, 2 days before I start. I always make sure I throw 2 days, and if I have like 8 days, I throw 2 times in between starts.
Well, Randy, it's always a pleasure to see youngsters come through in the major leagues with a great future, and you certainly have one. And I want to thank you for talking with us tonight and wish you a lot of luck.
I want to thank you, Lou. Thank you very much.
Randy Lurch, fine young left-handed pitcher with the Philadelphia Phillies, was our guest. Say.
Wow! Let's go! Batter up! We're taking the afternoon off. It's a beautiful day for a ball game today. The fans are out to get a ticket or two. From Walla, Washington to Kalamazoo. It's a beautiful day for a home run. Or even a triple motion. We're gonna cheer and boo and raise a hallelujah at the ball game today.
The Chicago Cubs are on the air. Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to Major League Baseball. The Cubs tonight trying to even up against the Philadelphia Phillies here at Veterans Stadium. Nice night for baseball. Just a little bit on the cool side, but not bad at all, considering the weather we had in Chicago last week. This seems like a heat wave. It is 54 degrees here in the south side of Philadelphia. The Cubs and the Phillies with Jim Cott making his debut for the season, going for the Phillies against the Cubs rookie, Dennis Lamb. He got the thrill of his first Major League victory in his last outing, and it was a shutout performance. Those of you who were at Wrigley Field on Friday remember that one when he blanked the Mets on a 4-hitter. I'm Vince Lloyd, and along with Lou Boudreau, we sure welcome you to our broadcast tonight from Philadelphia. Our broadcast is brought to us by General Finance's 70 Chicagoland offices. And to borrow up to $10,000, why don't you pick up the phone and call Friendly Bob Adams at Andover 3-2020. True Value Hardware Stores. Hey, that's not just a name, it's their way of doing business. True Value. The G. Heilman Brewing Company of La Crosse, Wisconsin, makers of Old Style, the pure brewed beer from God's country. And the Association of Chicagoland McDonald's Restaurant. Have breakfast at McDonald's tomorrow. You won't even have to do the dishes. Your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers. Find out how the gallant men of Olds can make car buying a pleasure for you. Fans, our broadcast is authorized under rights granted by the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers for this event. It is solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of the game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited. Young Paul Dade got the thrill of hitting his first Grand Slam home run in his Major League career as he helped the Cleveland Indians defeat Toronto this afternoon 6-5. That's for Paul Dade, his second homer this year. Grand Slammer, and it boosted Wayne Garland, the Indians pitcher, to a record of 2-2 for the year as Jerry Garvin of the Toronto Blue Jays suffered his first loss after a victory. Rico Carty, the great veteran, also homered in that ball game. His game at the bases empty, his third of the year. And in the National League this afternoon, a couple of streaks were ended up in Canada at Montreal. The Expos, who had won 5 in a row, had that one ended by the St. Louis Cardinals, who snapped their own 6-game losing streak with a 7-2 victory. John Urier getting his first win for the Birds, and Hal Deuce suffering his first loss of the season. Mentioning home runs a moment ago, one-time Cub and a very popular fellow, Adrian Garrett, who's playing baseball this year over in Japan. In his first 4 games, he had hit home runs for his ball club at Hiroshima, the Hiroshima Carp. Well, Adrian now has hit 14 home runs in that young season over in Japan, and he is approaching a record in Japanese baseball for the month of April. This is Rick Mundy. Is zeroing in on a record in the major leagues here in this country for homers in the month of April. We'll just have to wait and see in the half dozen days that are left whether the 2 former Cubs are able to achieve record performances this month. The Cubs last night bombed out 12-2 in one of the freakiest innings we've seen in a long time when the Phillies busted a close ball game wide open with 9 runs. Cubs tonight have Ivan De Jesus leading off at shortstop with Gene Clines batting second and Clines in left field. Bobby Mercer in right field hitting third, and Dave Kingman battling a slump at first base, and he performed very, very well there last night. Kingman hitting cleanup with Manny Trio, tonight hitting fifth, Trio at second base, and Steve Olivares hitting behind Trio tonight, Steve at third. Hector Cruz is tonight's starting center fielder. Cruz batting seventh, with Dave Rader doing the catching, hitting eighth, and Dennis Lamp the pitcher. The Phillies are out of the field. And it's time now for the playing of our national anthem. Veteran Jim Cott out on the hill. Veteran making his first performance of the season. And before Ivan DeJesus steps in against Jim Cott, let's take a moment for this message.
Visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer today.
Tonight marks the debut of Philly Fanatic. Strange-looking character. The 22-year-old young man who works front office here for the Phillies, David Raymond. He is the son of the University of Delaware's head football coach, Tubby Raymond. And they've got him decked out in what a furry garb of bright green and white. He just tossed out the first ball. Must have thrown it at least 10 feet. Now he's going to be parading up and down the aisles and throughout the stands tonight. And Jim Cott on the hill. Left-hander winds, and the first pitch to Ivan takes it for a strike, and the ball game is underway. Here's a pitch swung on, and a tap. Third baseman Schmidt crossing way over in front of the shortstop, gloved it, and he makes a quick, good throw over to first base, and Ivan is pegged out of there. So there's one away, and that brings up Gene Klein. DeJesus, by the way, starting tonight, hitting .317. Hope he can keep that up. Gene Klein's last night drove in a run, had a base hit. The RBI came with a sacrifice fly. Right-hander looks, and Cott's first pitch is a strike call. He's hitting .258. Run batted in for Gene last night. His fifth of the year. Cott works very, very quickly. Changes on that one, and a breaking ball is right over the heart of the plate. Beautiful. 0-2. Fastball, and he takes it outside. Cott is one of the quickest workers in baseball. He just says, give me the ball. Let me throw it. He does. Fastball. Strike three called in the inside corner at the belt. Klein's arguing a little bit with the young umpire Paul Runge working behind the plate. That'll bring up Bobby Mercer, who went 0 for 3 last night. Cott, in his first appearance of the year, has put down the first two Cubs and has posted a strikeout. Mercer hitting .278. Left-hander takes in. It's a strike right at the knees, and he's looking sharp. Got him from the White Sox a couple years ago. Sidearm fastball swung on. Hits a hard grounder down to the first baseman, Richie Hebner. He's got it for an unassisted out, and the Cubs go down in a hurry in the first inning against 39-year-old southpaw Jim Cott. Now out to the hill goes the young rookie for the Cubs, Dennis Lamp. The right-hander will be facing Bake McBride, Larry Boa, Mike Schmidt. We hope that's all. After half inning, no score. Didn't even have time to give you the Cub pitching coaches. That Cott worked so fast and got us out of there in such a hurry. Peanuts Lowry in the coaches line at third, and Cookie Rojas coaching at first. Peanuts, of course, replacing Joey Malpatano down there. Joey's been in the hospital, and Jimmy Davidovich of the Cubs front office has informed us that it has been diagnosed as a hiatal hernia, which has caused some congestion in the lungs. Bob Kennedy, the Cubs general manager, was afflicted with it during the winter. But we're happy to report that Malfitano is now slated to join the ball club here in Philadelphia tomorrow. And we hope he's going to be 100% sound from here on. Jake McBride did not play last night. The left-handed hitter formerly with the Cardinals. They got him last year, hitting .216 with a run batted in. Well, he was with the Phillies last year against the Cubs. He hit .289, had a homer, drove in 11 runs. Lamp, 25 years of age. Solidly built young guy, 6'3", 190. Looks down to get his sign from Dave Rader. Here's the windup and the pitch, and Jake McBride swings a bouncing ball. Goes to Manny Trio in the carpet. He's got it easily, and McBride is out of there by 3 strides. Went away in a hurry. Larry Boa, the shortstop, drove in a run last night, had a base hit, his second RBI of the season. Switch hitter, batting .259 for the year with 14 base hits. He hit better against the Cubs last year than any team in the National League, a .351 mark against Cub pitching in the '77 season. Outfield shadowed up for him. It's a bat out, fakes it on, and looks at a strike, a fastball. Klein, very shallow. In left field, and Hector Cruz, shallow in left center. Wind up in the pitch. Fastball swung on. He bounces one down to first base line, foul. Retrieved over there by Dave Kingman. Looked good playing at first base last night, and he is happy to be at that spot. He's with the Mets. They used him there an awful lot. He only played one game and just a couple of innings at first base for the Cubs in spring training this year. Lamp delivers. Low. Ball 1, strike 2. As he wasted that one low and outside the ball. Mike Schmidt in the on-deck circle. No score. Bottom of the first inning at Philadelphia. Dennis Wines, and here's the delivery. Swung on. A drive into left center field. Cruz coming over. Get it on. It's going to be Gene Klein who crosses in front of him and grabs it on the first hop, and there's the first hit of the night. At opposite field, soft single. Even though they were playing shadow, couldn't get to it. Mike Schmidt stepping in, hitting .340 for the year. Had a home run last night with 2 mates aboard, giving him 3 homers and 13 runs batted in. A year ago, Schmidt was off to a very, very slow start in the month of April, but not so this year. Hit safely in 11 out of the last 12 games. Throw to first base to Kingman, and Boa jumping back safely. Tony Taylor coaching down there, and Billy DeMars in the coach's box at third. In contrast to how they played Boa, the outfield is deep for Schmidt and playing him to pull, and I mean they're deep. Lamp checks the runner, delivers, misses inside above the belt. Ball 1 to Mike Schmidt. Finds Cruz and Mercer in the outfield. Oliveras deep at third. Throw to first. Boa jumping back safely. Last year against the Phillies, after the Cubs brought Dennis up, he had the misfortune to yield a grand slam home run to his mound opponent that day, Larry Christensen. Goes to first. Boa barely getting back, standing that time. He didn't even bother to slide. He has that right foot on the carpet over there. He can move. Here's a stretch by Lamp, and he steps off the pitching rubber, and Kingman is now coming over to talk to him. I think he might have him ruffled a little bit with that kind of speed over there, and he's the hitter.
Yes, because he's anticipating Boa getting a lead off up on that carpet, and that's a tremendous lead.
He plants that right foot on the green artificial grass again. Dennis ready, kicks, delivers, Boa goes, Schmidt swings, and there's a deep drive, left center field. It is on the carpet, bounced against the wall. Here comes the first run of the night. Larry Boa coming across the plate on a long double to deep left center field off the bat of Mike Schmidt. His 14th run batted into the year, and he is now hit safely in 12 out of 13 games. An early lead for the Phillies and a runner in scoring position. Boa was running on it, and Schmidt really nailed it. Here comes the bull, Greg Luzinski. 1 for 4 last night, hitting .286 for the year. A couple of homers and 7 runs batted in. Lamp's first pitch, a little bit low, ball 1. Outfield deep for this guy, of course. Straightaway stance. Feels that uniform like it's molded, part of his skin. Here's the pitch. Inside at the knees. Ball 2 on Luzinski. Left-handed hitting Richie Hebner did not see action last night in the on-deck circle over on the first base side. Got to be careful with this guy. Checks the runner, delivers. There's a swing and a hard shot. Backhanded by DeJesus. Throws to Oliveris. They've got Boa trapped. He races him back towards second. Tosses to Trio, puts the tag on him. Luzinski on at first base on a fielder's choice as Mike Schmidt broke for third on that one. I'm surprised, Lou, he didn't wait until that ball got by the infielder.
Well, he thought the ball was going to be in the left field, and DeJesus was playing Luzinski to pull. This is a mistake Smith made. Whenever a base runner gets on second base, he has to set in his mind the position of the defensive players. Smith did not.
Backhanded stop by Ivan. So, 2 gone, and Luzinski on at first base with Hebner stepping in. He's battling a slump. Takes the first pitch, and it's a strike. I believe he's the only free agent that Rudy Carpenter, the president of the Phillies, has signed. And he said, we signed him for a salary that is within our structure. How much? I don't know. Swings and misses that one. Flips the bat up in the air. Grabs it by the handle. He'll do that frequently. Hitting .259 and has gone without a hit in his last 14 trips to the plate. Has a homer this year and 4 runs batted in. Luzinski goes, and Rader flips the ball out of his mitt as he was ready to fire to second base. The pitch was away.
Well, it looks like they're going to test not only Lamp, but Rader. When Luzinski attempts a stolen base, you know that they're working on the youngster, Lamp, the pitcher.
Believe it or not, that is Luzinski's second stolen base this year in 2 attempts. DeJesus shaded almost behind second base. Still just a wee bit on the shortstop side of the bag. Here's the pitch to Hebner. Backs him away. Down around the knees to level the count at 2-2. Phillies have struck in a hurry. A single by Boa. Hit and run double by Mike Schmidt. Now runner at second with 2 gone. 2-2 delivery to Hebner. Swung on at a high pop-up. Oliveris going back near the foul line, and he makes the catch just inside the foul line. About 35, 40 feet back of the bag, and that retires the side. 1 run, 2 hits. The Phillies leave 1 man on, and at the end of 1 at Veterans Stadium, the Cubs come to bat. Philadelphia leading 1-0.
Hello, General Finance. Friendly Bob Adams speaking.
Bob, can you handle an emergency loan?
I think so.
I'll need a loan for moving expenses because I finally went and did it.
Who's this?
The guy they said wouldn't do it.
Who?
Steve Kelly. And you know what?
You did it.
Right. Went right in and said, boss, I've had it with these crazy working hours. And furthermore, I don't think much of my salary here either. Isn't that good what I said?
What happened, Mr. Kelly?
He fired me.
That's not good.
Yeah, I got another job, though. That's not bad, is it?
No, that's good.
No, that's bad. It's in another state, Bob.
Oh, well, there's good and bad in everything, I guess.
You know, Bob, there's good and bad in everything, I guess.
I heard that somewhere.
So, about that emergency loan?
Well, you can always get a little help from a friend.
I want you to think about something, Bob.
Yes.
It's nice to know you can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
Over 70 General Finance offices in the Chicagoland area to borrow up to $10,000. Call Andover 32020. Also an office in Kankakee.
When the Phillies got cut from the Sox in December of '75, give up Dick Ruthven, Alan Bannister, Roy Thomas, and I don't know whatever happened to Thomas. Ruthven, of course, not with the Sox anymore, but he's pitching in the majors. Bannister, I believe, is still with the Sox. This guy is appearing tonight in his 650th Major League game. He's making his 583rd start. He's been around for 18 years. But just outside of Philadelphia now, and other things, has a few racehorses. Dave Kingman stepping in. Cott's first pitch swung on. There's a well-hit drive. Back goes center fielder, and he grabs it right up against the fence and then drops it. Kingman now on his way around second. Look out! The throw fortunately goes to third, and he's able to get back into second base. If the relay had been back into second, he'd have been a dead duck. Only for a moment, that was going to leave the park, Lou.
Well, it seemed to die as it got out to left center, and only Maddox hitting the wall jarred that ball from his glove. He made a sensational catch for a moment.
Yeah, but couldn't hold on to it. Dave started tonight hitting 192, and he's limping a little bit out there on that carpet behind second base. Resting his right leg. But he's apparently going to be okay.
They're going to give
an
error.
That's a tough error. That really is. If he doesn't hit the fence, he holds onto the ball. Trio in there, and Cott throws him that slow and high, ball one.
They may change that after the Cubs get a base hit. We hope that they will. But here again, they're making that first hit a legitimate one.
He was going to bunt, and he goes right on through the pitch, and that is a strike. Cott, for all of his 39 years of age, is still considered one of the prime fielding pitchers in the major leagues. Trio steps out on him as he started into the stretch. 650th major league game for him. There's a swing and a tap foul. Back to the backstop. 1-1. Last year, he was 0-1 against the Cubs. Matter of fact, he lost to rookie Donnie Moore at Wrigley Field in September after Donnie had been brought up. Here's a pitch. Little low. Ball two, strike two on Manny. Was a 300 hitter this year at the moment with 12 base hits, 4 runs batted in. Was hitless in 2 official trips last night. And just as Cott started into the stretch, Trio stepped out of the batter's box. Now he's back in, squares away. Cott's fastball brushes him back. Ball 3, strike 2. In his career now, Cott with 253 victories, 212 defeats. Delivers. There's a swing and a foul. Out of play. Had to jam him with that one. Still 3-2. Victory by the Indians today over Toronto and Paul Dade's Grand Slammer evens them up at 8-8 for the year. There's a swing and a drive foul into the seats down the right field line. And the Blue Jays are not flying very high at the outset of this season. They've lost 11 now, 1-5. McBride in fairly shallow, but guarding the line against Trio. They know he can go to right field. Maddox, shallow, in center, goes after the outside pitch and fouls it out of play. He didn't want to take a chance in the judgment of plate umpire Paul Runge on that one, even though it appeared to be high and away. Bob Engel umpiring at first. Jerry Dale at second. John McSherry, who worked behind the plate last night, is on at third. Here's the pitch. There's a strike called. He started down to first base, and that time Cott came in on him, and he thought it was in too close. One of the things we have done too often in this young season, Lou, is get guys at second base with nobody out and not advance them.
Yeah, Trio had tried on several occasions, but with going outside, Cott fooled him by coming inside with a good fastball.
Caught him looking. There's one away, and here's Steve Ontiveros, 1 for 4 last night. He's still hitting a very anemic 135. 2 runs batted in. He's batting right-handed, swings, hits one down to the first baseman. Hepner's up with it. Kingman will advance to third on the unassisted put-out, and they're 2 away. Neither that, the out prior to that. Here's Hector Cruz. Starting tonight at center field. 6 hits in his first 24 trips to the plate for the Cubs. He's wearing Jerry Morales' old number, 24. Has not yet driven in a run. Was hitless here last night in 4 trips. First pitch swung on at a high fly ball. Coming in forward is Gary Maddox. He's there, waving everybody away, makes the catch, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits. Maddox charged with an error, permitting Kingman to get to second to lead off the inning. We can't get him in. At the end of 1.5 at Philadelphia, Phillies still lead 1-0.
A lawnmower is one of the biggest investments you will make in lawn and garden equipment, so choose one that'll last. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest you see True Value Hardware Store's exclusive selection of quality-built Serv-S and Lawn Chief mowers, from a 19 or 20-inch rotary to self-propelled rear baggers or a new mulching mower. All are manufactured to exacting quality standards with full safety features, and they're priced from as low as $79.99, exclusively at participating True Value Hardware stores.
Good morning. I'd like to try the breakfast with the hash browns, please.
Oh, McDonald's scrambled eggs and sausage and hash browns breakfast with an English muffin.
What's the name of it?
We don't have a name.
You need Punchy here. You need name Punchy quick.
Oh, you mean like Egg McMuffin?
Greg Bersashton.
McEgg sauce hash brown.
McScram.
And steak.
No.
Maposa.
Potosi Muffin.
McMuffin.
Oh.
McDonald's scrambled eggs and sausage and hash browns breakfast.
So you do want that?
I'll have that.
You got it.
Our scrambled eggs and sausage and hash browns breakfast.
Gary Maddox, the center fielder, 0 for 3 last night, hitting .289 for the year, is going to lead off, driven in 3 runs. 1 out single by Boa, a hit and run double by Mike Schmidt put the Phillies on the board in the first inning. Boston tonight up at Milwaukee. 2 in the first, 2 in the second. The Red Sox carry a 4-0 lead over Jerry Augustine. The colorful Bill Lee pitching for the Red Sox. Yankees at Baltimore, no score after a half inning of play. Jim Palmer going after his 3rd win for the Orioles. The cop pitches inside above the knees. Jump back from it. Ball 1. San Francisco at Atlanta tonight. No score after 1. Jim Barr for the Giants against Phil Niekro, who has lost 4 without a win this year. Fastball low and outside. 2-0. We'll be in Atlanta, of course, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's a swing and a one-hopper right in front of DeJesus. He's got it, makes the peg to Kingman. Little high, and apparently pulled his foot off the bag as he stretched up for it towards right field. Gotta give him a hit on that one, huh? Guess they figure he might have beat it out. Bob Boone stepping in. On a run last night, his 7th of the year. He's hitting .276. Got 3 hits last night, including one that he hit onto the carpet and bounced over out of Harris's head. Rader calls for a pitch out. Maddox not going. The count on Bob Boone. Veteran right-handed hitter. Maddox goes. There's a pitch. Here's Rader's throw to Trio. He is in there. Ball hit him. And fortunately for the Cubs, comes over on the shortstop side, and Ivan DeJesus alertly picking it up. Stolen base for Maddox. The 2nd of the night by the Phillies. And that for Maddox is his 4th against 4th out of 5 attempts, I should say. For the pitch out in the first one, he wasn't going. Ball 1, strike 1 on Boone. He had a good go against the Cubs a year ago. Hit .310 against Cub pitching. Here's the delivery. Goes after one around the knees and fouls it back out of play. Ball 1, strike 2. Runner in scoring position with nobody out in the 2nd inning. Dennis, who had pitched that complete game against the Mets and blanked them on 4 hits. And his string of shutouts shutout innings ended in a hurry here tonight. There's one that misses. Ball 2, strike 2. Davy Johnson in the on-deck circle. Checks Maddox. 3rd. There he goes. Here's the pitch. Here's Rader's throw out of Harris. He slides. He is safe. Tagged him just about at the knee, and by that time his foot was in there. Boy, he got a jump on Dennis that time, Lou.
Yes, that's what I mentioned earlier. They're running on the kid. They're trying to upset him, which means if he takes a little more time with his pitch, he has better control. So Danny Ozark is just running everybody, trying to upset his style of pitching.
Infield coming in a few steps. Pitch was inside. Ball 3, strike 2. Dennis into the stretch. Right-hander's pitch. Swung on. He bounces it foul. Let's pause a moment for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
And this is WGN Radio, Chicago.
Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Runner at third, nobody out. 3-2 pitch. Misses inside above the belt, ball 4. Now the 8th man of the batting order, veteran Davy Johnson, replacing Sizemore in this series so far. Stepping in, had a hit last night in 5 at-bats, his first one in 16 trips to the plate this year. Batted in a run. He was out taking extra batting practice 2.5, 3 hours before the game tonight. Davy looks, it's a strike. Used to be a second baseman, of course, for the Orioles in Atlanta. With Atlanta, hit 43 homers one year. Major league record for second baseman. Here's the pitch to Davy. Inside above the knees. Ball 1, strike 1 on him. The pitcher, Jim Cott, due up next. And he is not a patsy at the plate. 1-1 delivery. Swung out. Bounces it foul in front of the third base coach, Billy DeMars. An infield single by Gary Maddox to lead off the inning, and 2 stolen bases by Maddox. And Boone coaxing a walk. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And Johnson has struck out for the first out in the second. Jim Cott stopping at second base. And Boone came across the plate. Now, Mike Schmidt stepping in. On the hit run, he doubled and drove in his 14th run of the season in the first inning. Phillies with a 3-0 lead. We're in the second inning. Dennis ready. Here's the pitch. Curve into the dirt. Blocked by Rader. Sorry to hear today of the death of Mike Rourke going out to talk to Dennis. Of Hartley Hunk Anderson, who played for the legendary Newt Rockne at Notre Dame. Then with the Chicago Bears for about 6 years. And then he and Luke Johnsos, when George Halas went to the Navy in World War II, Hunk Anderson and Luke Johnsos coached the Bears for about 2-3 years. And they were co-coaches when the Bears won the title in the NFL in 1943. Hunk was 69 years of age. Died at residence at West Palm Beach, Florida. A super individual. All right. Rourke, the pitching coach, back in the dugout. Lamp alone on the hill delivers. There's a swing and a tap to the third base side. Lamp has it. Dennis turns, fires over to Kingman, and that retires Mike Schmidt. And finally, the Phillies are out in the second inning. But they come up with 2 more runs. It all started with an infield single and a couple of stolen bases. 2 hits in the inning. 2 men left on. So the Cubs got a little work to do against veteran Jim Cott at the end of 2. Phillies with a 3-0 lead.
When you brew a beer in God's country, you begin with sparkling, pure Wisconsin spring water. Water that flows deep beneath the ground. Then you pure brew, double brew it in a traditional old world way called krausening. Krausening is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Most expensive because it takes more time. But Heileman's Old Style is one American premium beer that is still fully krausened, naturally carbonated. Because at Old Style, we don't aim to make the most beer. Only the best. Taste the difference krausening makes. Try Old Style. Pure brewed in God's country. G. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Well, let's see if the Cubs can settle down now against Jim Cott. We want to remind you that after this weekend series at Atlanta, the Cubs are going to be home to entertain the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants, and it's going to be Jacket Weekend against San Francisco at Wrigley Field. We're looking for a very fine turnout. We hope to have you there. And for all of you youngsters, 13 and under, those of you who are out there at Wrigley Field, Saturday and Sunday that the Giants are there in May, first weekend, first 15,000 or 13 and under will receive that very, very nice blue vinyl jacket with the Cub emblem on the front with every fully paid admission. Now, that does not include tickets for the bleachers. Well, anything other than the bleacher admission, you'll be able to get yourself a jacket, but it's going to be first come, first serve. That's Saturday and Sunday. All right, Lou, let's see if we can right things out here and get going. Get a few runs on the board.
Thank you, Vince. Cott will face Rader and then Lamp in the top of the order. Rader getting a first aid from the trainer as he collided with Maddox. Maddox trying to score. Rader's hitting .259, no home runs, 5 RBIs. Cott working quickly. The count is 2 strikes on Rader. Cott really, when he gets that baseball, is ready to return it to the catcher very quickly. Here's a swing and a miss. Boone drops the ball. Rader drops the bat and starts towards first base. Boone has to throw to Hebner for the out. 3 strikeouts now for Cott. Now here's Dennis Lamp. Lamp looking for his first base hit for 78. First pitch from the left-hander. Swing and a miss. A good sinker going away from Lamp. Strike 1. Phillies 3, Cubs nothing. There's a let-up, and he was far out in front of it. It's 2 strikes, no ball. Cubs have yet to get a base hit off Cott. It looked as if Kingman was going to get one. Strike 3 called. He didn't waste any. It was over the inside corner. 4 strikeouts for Cott. Mentioning Kingman's blast, it was right in front of the 370-foot marker. Maddox went back, still moving back from the infield, caught the ball, and then as he hit the wall, he jarred that ball from his grasp. But the official scorer charged him with an error. Now here's De Jesus, grounded out, first time at bat. Takes the first pitch, strike call. Cott is the veteran. He's in and out. He'll outfox you on that mound. You have to be ready. There's a pitch, and he pops it up short right. Maddox is there. He has it for the out. So once again, the Cubs go down very quickly. 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. Phillies come to bat. Third inning, Phillies 3, Cubs nothing.
Oh, deep fried to be crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, just like our world-famous fries.
So you do want that?
Yes, I want that. Didn't I say that?
You got it.
That's the brand for breakfast. I'll have that.
Our scrambled eggs and sausage and hash browns breakfast.
Would you like us some McDonald's coffee with that?
McGuffey.
McGuffey.
Let me correct myself. I had Maddox in right field. It's McBride in right. Maddox is in center. And that's some speed from center field to right. Well, I should say from left center to right field. Luzinski's in left. All right, let's see now if Lamp can keep these Phillies off the base paths because they have been embarrassing him by running, stealing, hitting, and running. And he seemed to be a little upset. He's trailing 3-0. First pitch to Luzinski. There's one hit deep to left field, way back. Kiss it goodbye. A home run. The Bull gets his 3rd home run of the season. His 154th of his career. His 8th RBI. Phillies 4, Cubs nothing. Well, he didn't waste any time, and Herman Franks is coming out of the dugout immediately. Dave Roberts, the southpaw, warming up for the Cubs. It seemed like the running of Ozark has upset Lamp, and he's sort of quick pitching. When he does so, he doesn't have that good sinker on that fastball, and he's going to be removed for Dave Roberts. So while Roberts comes in to warm up, let's pause for this message.
64 years ago, in 1914, a new era in transportation began for America. That was the year the first ship passed through the Panama Canal. There was transportation history being made in 1914 in the tire industry, too. That was the year the first Cooper passenger tire was made. Today, 64 years later, Cooper tires are still being made in Findlay, Ohio, with the latest technological advances and plenty of old-fashioned craftsmanship. In fact, the Findlay people who build Cooper tires think so much of them that they put their names right on them. So a Cooper is known as the tire with two names, the company and the man who builds it. When you see your Cooper dealer, you know you're getting a quality tire for less than a top price. See your Cooper dealer soon.
Jack Oakes Auto Service at 3457 Douglas Avenue, Racine, Wisconsin. Falls Alignment Tube and Brake Service, North 90 West, 17082 Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls, Wisconsin.
New pitcher is Roberts. Roberts thus far hasn't worked, so this is his first work for the 78 season. He's been on the disabled list, so he's coming in there now to get a little work. Had a good spring. Looked as if Roberts was going to be that fourth or fifth starter. Then hurt his arm. So he gets a chance now to see what he can do against these Phillies, who have jumped out in front 4-0, scoring 1 run in the first, 2 in the second, and to open up the third inning, Greg Lazinski has hit his third home run of the season. Greg now with 8 RBIs trails Smith, who has 14. Roberts taking his wind-up tosses, and he will face Hebner, and then Maddox and Boone. Lamp worked just 2 innings and to 1 man here in the third. He gave up 4 runs, 5 hits, struck out 2, walked 1. And now here's Hebner at bat to face Dave Roberts. Hebner, left-handed hitter. First pitch by Dave is high inside, ball 1. Hebner popped out first time at bat. Southpaw's pitch is a strike called over the inside corner. Once again, he pitched Hebner inside, but that one was low and over the corner. Roberts has a sign. The pitch on its way. Pop foul, out of play into the upper deck. San Francisco 1, Atlanta 1 at the end of 2.5. St. Louis defeated Montreal 7-2 today. Pittsburgh sending their young right-hander Robinson against New York. New York counting with a youngster, Bruhart. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a line drive foul down the right field line. Hebner out in front of that fastball and pulled a shot down that right field line, but foul. Kingman at first, guarding that foul line. The pitch by Roberts. Curveball swing, ground ball to Kingman. He has it. Runs up, touches first, 1 out. Kingman handled that ball very nicely, as it was hit very sharply to him. And now here's Maddox. Beat out an infield hit to the shortstop in the second inning. Stole second, stole third, and scored on a fielder's choice by Cott when Trio hesitated for a moment, threw to the plate. Maddox collided with Rader, knocked the ball from his glove, and scored. First pitch by Roberts, high. Ball one. Maddox, right-handed hitter. 3 RBIs for the season. Spread, stance. Asks for time, and he gets it from Runge, the plate umpire. Now we're all set, and here's the ball one pitch. High, once again, ball two. Roberts needs the work. Roberts is not a overpowering pitcher. He uses control in that let-up and a little sinker. High, ball three to Maddox. He checks down with Billy DeMars, gets his sign, see if he's given a green light. The pitch on its way. It's high, way outside. Ball four. First walk issued by Roberts. Now he faces Boone, the catcher. Boone walked in the second inning and scored on Boa's single to center. Boone, right-handed hitter. Roberts, with his stretch, looks directly at Maddox. Throws to first base. Maddox is very fast. He has 5 stolen bases this season, and he has 2 already tonight. Roberts, once again, checks Maddox at first. Here's the pitch. High, ball one to Booney. Boone's dad, very fine major leaguer, played with Cleveland, then went on to Detroit. Closed out his career brilliantly. There's one high outside. 6 straight pitches have been out of the strike zone. So Roberts now in trouble as Maddox may be off with this pitch. Here's the stretch. Throws to first base. Maddox leaps back safely. Johnson follows Boone. Roberts checks the runner. Sets. Here's the pitch. High, ball 3. 3-0 to Booney, and out time is called as Mike Rourke, the pitching coach, wants to come out and have a chat with Roberts. He has thrown 7 straight pitches out of the strike zone. So Rourke giving him some fatherly advice, probably telling him to bend the back, throw the strikes. Roberts saying, I'm trying to, but that ball is sailing on me. 3-0 to Boone, 1 out. Phillies lead 4-0. Phillies have 4 runs on 5 hits. Cubs have no runs on no hits. 3-0 pitch on its way. It's high, ball 4. Second walk issued by Roberts. Now he'll face Dave Johnson. This fellow usually eats up left-handed pitching. Roberts now with Philadelphia runners on first and second. Johnson batting 8th in Ozark's lineup tonight. Roberts wants another sign. Steps back off the pitching mound. Now he's in front of the mound, and he wants to have a chat with Rader. Well, Roberts hasn't been out there for a little while, and especially with a man on second base, the signs are changed. So Rader has to go out and remind him about the switch, or a different indicator, or a different set of signs entirely when second base is occupied. Roberts sets. First pitch on its way. Swing and a line drive, foul ball. He almost got himself an umpire. Quick work by McSherry. just missing being hit with that line drive as it curved foul down the left field line.
Like a lot of us big men, McSherry moves quickly.
Well, most big men are very light on their feet.
Yes, we are.
And especially when they sit down. They're a little heavier then. Strike one, the pitch. Strike called over the outside corner. Runge giving Roberts that pitch. Johnson did not like it. One out, one run in. Men on first and second. The pitch by Roberts to Johnson. Ooh. Far outside, gets past Rader for a wild pitch, I would assume. And it is a wild pitch, and the men advance. This looks like spring training for Roberts. So it eliminates the possibility of a double play, especially by a ground ball. And now Phillies with runners on second and third. One out, and the count of 1 ball, 2 strikes on Johnson. The pitcher Cott due up next. Cub infield in. The pitch on its way by Roberts. Inside and high, 2-2 the count. Donnie Moore now warming up for the Cubs in the bullpen. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the let-up. First time he threw it tonight, and it fooled Johnson. He strikes out. That's the first strikeout for Roberts. Now with 2 outs, he's got Jim Cott. And don't take this man lightly. He swings a pretty good bat. Roberts taking his stretch. The pitch. Fastball inside and low, ball 1. 2 outs now. Roberts still takes his stretch in the next pitch to Cap. There's a strike called over the inside corner. Jim has a closed stance. His right foot is right near the home plate, the corner, the inside corner, and also on that batter's box line in front. Here's a swing and a pop foul right beneath our radio booth. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now let's see if Roberts reaches back for a little extra and strikes out Cott. Here's the pitch. It hits him. He had a little extra, but he didn't know where it was going. He hit Cott with a 1-2 count. That loads the bases up for McBride. Well, you have to know that he's wild when he does that. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's McBride at bat. Roberts will take his stretch, even though the bases are loaded. First pitch to McBride is a strike called. Let up over the inside corner. Phillies lead 4-0. They have a chance here to break this game wide open. Roberts trying to stop them. Here's the strike 1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a curveball. Strike 2 to McBride. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
And this is WGN Radio Chicago.
He wastes 1 inside, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Maddox on third. Boone at second. Cott at first. Roberts taking a little too much time. He did not want to throw that particular pitch that Rader signaled for, and he wants another sign. Now he's ready. Here's the ball, 1 strike, 2 pitches outside, and Rader makes a very fine one-handed, glove-handed catch. Every time Roberts seems to get a little extra on that fastball, he doesn't know where it's going to end up. He's thrown one wild pitch. He's hit one batter in this inning, and now he's got the count of 2-2. The pitch on its way. Swing and a tap foul out of play. 2-2 the count on McBride. Roberts looking for that third out. He has a sign. Checks the runners. The pitch to McBride. Swing and a pop-up over Trio's head at second base. He's under it. He has it for the out. In the third inning, 1 run, the leadoff home run by Greg Lazinski. And that's the only hit. But there was a lot of walks and a wild pitch and a hit batter in the inning, so 3 men were left on base. At the end of 3, it's Phillies 4, Cubs nothing.
The gal stands a hole. We make our bodies a pleasure again.
Right now is the time to test drive a 78 Cutlass. Why? Because right now, with over 4,000 available in Chicagoland, you can choose the color and options you want with immediate delivery at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer. When you test drive the 78 Cutlass, you'll discover how the new trimmer size makes for smooth riding, easier handling. Inside, feel the comfort and enjoy the space, because there's more headroom and legroom than ever. Visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer today. Test drive the 78 Cutlass. You'll discover what a pleasure it is.
The California home. We make our bodies a pleasure again. The California home. We make our bodies a pleasure again. The California home. We make our bodies.
Cott has just reached the mound. He was hit by one of Roberts' fastballs, so he was getting a little first aid, perhaps. A little ice on that particular injury. He will face Kleins, Mercer, and Kingman in the 4th inning. Cubs have yet to touch Cott for a base hit. They only had 1 runner. That was Kingman when Maddox was charged with a 2-base error as he backed up against the fence in left center to take his fly ball and then dropped it as he banged into the wall. So Kleins will lead off. He was called out on strikes in the 1st inning. So the Cubs are due to break loose. Kleins with a close stance is ready. First pitch. He taps it foul. Cott is a quick pitching pitcher. You have to be ready. You can't do many maneuvers in that batter's box. There's a fastball high. As you level the bat over the plate, Cott is smart enough to catch you when that bat's in front of you. Here's a swing, a ground ball to shortstop's left. Boa has it. Sidearms the throw to Hebner for the out. 1 out in the 4th inning. Here's Mercer. He grounded out to Hebner at first base. Other scores in the American League: Boston 4, Milwaukee 2 at the end of 5. It's Baltimore 1 behind Palmer. The New York Yankees nothing. Here's a swing and a tap foul by Mercer on a slow curveball. 1 out, nobody on base. Kingman to follow Mercer. Mercer swings it, pops it up short center. Maddox is there. He has it for the out. 2 outs. And now here's Kingman at bat. Phillies out in front, 4-0. Kingman gets set. The big bird levels that bat over the plate. He swings and misses on the first pitch, strike 1. the shift is on as Johnson is on the third base side of second base. Boa splits Johnson on his left and Smith on his right. Led up into the dirt. Missed by Boone. 1-1 to count. Luzinski is only about 20 feet off of the foul line, and Maddox is playing as if he's playing left center. There's one inside. Ball 2, strike 1. Cott is ready. The pitch to Kingman. Swing and a miss on a fastball. 2-2 to count. 2 outs. Nobody on base. Fourth inning, Phillies 4, Cubs nothing. 2-2 pitch now from Cott. A let up, and Kingman swings and fouls it out of play. The count remains 2-2. He gets one down that right field line. He can run for a week. He taps at that ball, pops it up near the Cubs dugout. Cott is there, but it's out of play. Cott was closer to that foul than Booney, the catcher. And Cott's getting a hand for coming off that mound quickly as Boone couldn't pick up that foul ball. Let me tell you, had it been playable, Cott would have caught it. Ball 2, strike 2 to count. There's one hit into left center. High fly ball. Maddox is there. Calls for it in front of Luzinski, and he makes the catch. Once again, the Cubs go down 1-2-3. No runs, no hits. Nobody left on base in the fourth inning. Phillies come to bat. Phillies 4, Cubs nothing.
I need lead-free gas. How do I know which one's a good one?
I always go with the #1 brand. I paid a lot of money for this car. I want a great lead-free gasoline for it.
I'm a standard dealer. What I tell my customers is that today's new cars run on lead-free fuel, but they don't all run the same way on it. So we standard dealers give you a lead-free choice. Our lead-free Amoco in the blue pump is the Midwest's best-selling lead-free. Ever since the lead-free age began, lead-free Amoco has been preferred by new car buyers. And now there's a second lead-free Amoco gasoline. Higher octane Amoco premium lead-free in the gold pump. It's designed for cars old and new that need higher octane to run the way they should.
You get a choice at Standard.
I like that Amoco in the blue pump. Amoco Premium's great.
See your independent standard dealer near you and get his lead-free choice. You expect more from a leader.
Dave Roberts, in his second inning of work here after relieving Lamp in the third, will face Boa, Smith, and Luzinski. Boa singled twice batting left-handed against Dennis Lamp. So now he'll face Roberts and will bat right-handed. Cubs will close out this visit to Philadelphia tomorrow afternoon. Cubs will send Russell against the Phillies' Carlton. Swing and a tap to Ontiveros at third. He has it. Fires to Kingman. Bo is out. So the Phillies are throwing 3 left-handers against the Cubs. Lurch last night with a victory. Cott tonight, and he has a 4-0 lead. And Carlton will go against Rick Russell tomorrow. Here is Smith at bat. A double in the first inning, driving in Boa, and grounded out in the second. He takes the first pitch, ball 1. The pitch, Smith swings, pops it up, back of first base. Could be trouble. In comes Mercer. Mercer still coming in. He bobbles the ball. It goes against the tarp. There goes Smith to third. Here's the throw. He's safe. Mercer trying to make a basket catch. and missed making a basket catch. It hit him on the leg, went into foul territory to the tarp, rolled up against the fence, and he's charged with an error. A three-base error by Mercer. Now here's Lazinski at that. Cubs playing back. They will give Philadelphia another run. The pitch. High outside, ball one. Yankees have tied Baltimore 1-1 at the end of 4. The pitch. Outside, ball 2. Hebner due up next. So Roberts will not give Lazinski anything that he can hit, hopefully. But when a pitcher doesn't have his control, anything can happen. There's a swing and a foul back out of play. Well, there's a big ball game in Cincinnati tonight. Dodgers against Cincinnati. Dodgers 2, Cincinnati 1. Cincinnati batting in the second inning. Ball 2, strike 1 pitch on its way. There's one inside, just missing a corner. 3-1 to Greg Lazinski. Smith on third, 1 out. There's one outside and high, ball 4. He wasn't going to give Lazinski anything good to hit. And Lazinski was being very choosy. So he walks. Third walk issued by Roberts. Now Roberts will face the left-handed hitting Richie Hebner. Kingman holding the runner on at first. Cubs infield hoping for a double play. Hebner levels the bat over the plate. Here's a pitch. Inside, over the corner for a strike, as Hebner didn't like that call. Now Roberts gets his sign, looks directly at Lazinski at first. The pitch to Hebner. Swing and a miss on a curveball breaking low. Strike 2. Phillies out in front, 4-0, and they're threatening to add to that lead. Runners on first and third, 1 out here in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. He checks his swing in time. Ball 1, strike 2. Roberts looks in. Now he takes a stretch. The kick, and here's the pitch. Inside once again. 2-2 the count on Hebner. Smith is on third base. Lazinski is on first. So that infield is well balanced on the corners. Roberts looks in. Shakes his head no on one sign. Now he's ready. 2-2 pitch. A swing and a line drive, base hit in the right field. Lazinski round second and will hold up. Hebner singles to right field to drive in his 5th run of the year. That's the first hit off Roberts, the 6th of this ball game for the Phillies. And the score now 5-0. Hebner was in quite a slump. That's his first hit. He was 17 times at bat. He was 0 for 16 before that hit. Now here's Maddox. 1 for 1. He walked in the 3rd inning. Phillies runners on first and second. First pitch. Swinging a double play ball to Trio. He throws to first to get the runner. Kingman's throw to Trio gets Hebner as he was caught. As Trio played that ball perfectly, he came in, gloved it on 1 hop or 2 hops, and stopped Hebner. Then threw to first to retire the speedy Maddox. And Kingman's throw back to Jesus, double up Hebner. So that is the Cubs' 9th double play of the season. In the 4th inning, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 man left on base, 1 error in the inning. So with the Cubs coming to bat now in the 5th inning, it's Phillies 5, Cubs nothing.
Hello, General Finance. Friendly Bob Adams speaking.
Bob, should the garage door go up when I use the electric can opener?
What?
Or the toast pop up whenever I vacuum?
Who's this?
Lillian Kappelmeyer here, Bob. Remember you gave Mary, my husband, a loan for electronics school?
Oh, yes, Lillian. How's it,
Should my electric toothbrush brush every time the door buzzer buzzes?
Does it?
Only if the sump pump's running.
Boy, your husband's really a whiz.
All he has to do is change a light bulb.
And now?
Wait a minute, Bob. I have to preheat the oven here.
Oh, cooking dinner, huh?
No. That turns on all the streetlights on our block.
Maybe Murray should have gone to that upholstery school.
Bob, we need a home repair loan very desperately.
Home repair to,
Repair all the electronic wizardry of Thomas Alva Kappelmeyer.
Well, that home repair loan is practically on its way. Lillian, do I hear water running?
Yes, I'm standing in the shower, Bob. It's the only way I can get the telephone to work. Gotta hang up now. Starting to get pruny.
It's all right. You can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
There are over 70 General Finance offices in the Chicagoland area to borrow up to $10,000. Call Andover 32020. So far, the friendly city has not been friendly to the Chicago Cubs. 12-2 whomping last night at the hands of the Phillies, and right now, as Manny Trio stepped in to open up the 5th for the Cubs, Phillies with a 5-0 lead, and the Cubs have not looked good so far in this series. Trio looked at strike 3 in the 2nd inning. And the Cubs are still without a hit. Cott comes over the top with a slow curve, and it caught the strike zone just above the knees. Here's the windup. Fastball this time, and it's fouled out of play to the right. Trio, I think, was looking for the fastball, but Cott was just too quick for him. 0-2. Philadelphia Flyers going just across the street against the Buffalo Sabres in the NBA have a 1-0 lead at the end of the first period. Cott wastes that one a ball. Fastball a little bit low, 2-2. If Philadelphia holds on for a win tonight, that eliminates the Buffalo Sabres. Trio stepped out a moment, now he's back in. And the 2-2 pitch on its way. Swung on at a high pop-up. Shortstop Larry Bow on the carpet behind second. Davy Johnson, however, is there, and he calls him off. Makes the catch directly in front of Gary Maddox, the center fielder. Third straight pop-up. Mercer and Kingman popped up to the center fielder in the 4th inning. Alvarez grounded out to Richie Hebner in the 2nd inning. And he is now hitting only 132 for the year. There's a swing, and he bounces one to Johnson again. He's got it at second base. 2 away. Base is empty. Still looking for the first hit of the night, and Hector Cruz stepping in. Playing in center field. Last night he was 0 for 4. Tonight he's had 1 trip to the plate and flied out to center. His batting average has dipped 10 points tonight, down to 240. Cott starts him with a curve, and the veteran caught the outside corner just above the knees. Strike 1. Let's see if he comes back with a fastball. Nope. Lets up on that one, and he misses way high and outside. That levels the count at 1-1. Cott working quickly. Goes a curve, and it broke into the dirt. Cruz started to go after it. Ruled that he checked his swing in time. Ball 2, strike 1, and the Philadelphia fans don't like the call. Jim is ready. There's a swing and a ground ball to the third baseman. Mike Schmidt is up with it. Accurate arm. That takes care of the Cubs in the 5th. Cott, in his debut in the 1978 season, been credited with a no-hitter through the first 4.5 innings. And the Phillies come to bat against Dave Roberts. They lead 5-0. Vince Lloyd back with you at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Dave Roberts in his debut of the season for the Cubs. Finishing his warm-up tosses, the left-hander will face the bottom third of the batting order. That means Bob Boone, who has drawn 2 walks so far tonight, one against Dave, the other against Dennis Lamp, and has scored a run, will step into the batter's box here in a moment. Milwaukee, run in the fourth, one in the fifth, one in the sixth. They have narrowed the gap now between the Brewers and the Red Sox to 1 run. 4-3 at the end of sixth. Lee against Augustine. Gorman Thomas, a homer in the fourth, nobody on. Kansas City playing at Texas, no score after a half inning. Dennis Leonard against Ferguson Jenkins. Starts him with a slow curve, and he fouls it back out of play. Yankees, 2 runs in the top of the fifth inning at Baltimore. New York leads 3-1 in the bottom of the fifth inning. Roberts ready. Here's the windup in the pitch. Swung on at a fly ball to center field. Should be caught by Cruz. He's there, reaches up, grabs it one-handed, and there's one away. That brings up Davy Johnson, who has struck out twice. Once against Lamp, once against Roberts. Pittsburgh and the New York Mets. No score at the end of 2 tonight. Don Robinson, rookie, going for the Pirates against Brewhart, a rookie for the Yankees. And that pitch is a ball. Dave on a change, and he has Johnson way out in front. Taps a weak little foul down the third base side. Tommy John for the Dodgers over at Cincinnati against Tom Hume. Dodgers with a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the second inning. 1-1 pitch. This is an unusual indication by Paul Runge, the plate umpire. Brought his right arm out to the side. And apparently he meant it was a strike. And that one misses. Ball 2, strike 2. Swung on at a high fly ball. Bobby Mercer coming over, so is Cruz. Look out, guys. That's Mercer who makes a holler and a two-headed catch above his head. And they just missed a collision out there. Here's Jim Cott getting a well-deserved hand. He has a no-hitter going with 2 away in the bottom of the fifth inning in his first appearance of the season. 39 years of age, 6'5", about 215. Got credit for a run batted in the second inning on a fielder's choice. Maddox, who was on third, broke for the plate. And Trios, throw to Dave Rader, arrived about the same time as Maddox did. There's a check swing on a curve down and away. They say he went too far with it. Knocked the ball out of Dave's hand, and Maddox tallying. Then, in the third inning, he was hit by a pitch. All of the Phillies except Cott, there's a fastball in too close, 1-2, wear long-sleeved maroon shirts under that uniform. Not Jim. Short sleeve, bare arms, and he looks at that one for strike 3, and that retires the side in order. Hey, things are looking up. That's the first time tonight it's happened. Second strikeout for Dave Roberts. Here comes Phil Fanatic in that outlandish green and white feathery bird garb with the oversized clown-like shoes, entertaining the fans as the grounds crew goes to work on the dirt around the bases. Well, let's hope the next few innings are going to be different. At the end of 5, it's all Philadelphia. They lead 5-0. Fans, when you think about it, signs are important to the ebb and flow of any baseball game. There's a sign for hit and run, signs to steal, bunt, and a whole lot more to remember. Now, when it comes to the ebb and flow of beer drinking, there's only one sign you have to remember, and that's the sign on bottles or cans of Heilmann's Old Style. What is this beer? It's great, light flavor. Well, Old Style is brewed in God's country, where the skies are clear, the air is clean and crisp, and that sparkling, pure Wisconsin spring water flows from deep beneath the ground. Some folks say all the way from Canada. Well, with water like this, when you brew a beer once, you've got a good beer. But when you brew a beer twice, you've got a great light beer. This double brewing, pure brewing process is called krausening. It's the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Try Old Style, pure brewed in God's country. Dodgers picked up another run at Cincy in the top of the third. They carry a 3-1 lead over the Reds now in the bottom of the third inning at Cincy. And Atlanta leading the Giants 3-1 in the bottom of the fifth at Atlanta. We'll be there Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon to conclude this road trip. And Phil Niekro and the Braves can hold on to that lead. It'll give Phil his first win after 4 defeats this year. Out of the windup. Dave Rader, the Cub catcher, takes his first pitch, a ball a little high. Jim working quickly, delivers a fastball, and it's in for a strike. Ball 1, strike 1. There's a swing and a line drive. Clean, solid single into right field, and there goes his bid for a no-hitter. They may still change the ruling on Kingman's drive in the leading off the second inning, in which he sent Maddox back against the fence. He had it in his glove momentarily, but when the Philadelphia Phillies center fielder collided with that fence, it jarred the ball out of his glove, and he was charged with a 2-base error. Now, with a clean single, maybe they'll go back and revise the ruling on that one. Here's Roberts stepping in. Dave, left-handed hitter, takes the first one, a ball outside. Coming into this season, Jim ranked 10th in the all-time Major League rankings in games in which he's appeared. This is his 650th. Here's a tap down to the first baseman. Hefner wheels, throws to second for 1. Here's a relay back to first. Todd is there to take it, and a double play for the Phillies. 39-year-old veteran getting over there in a hurry, and that's a tough double play. #16th of the year by the Phillies. Bases are empty. Darrell Knoll still active. As going into this year had appeared in 655 games. Now, of course, Darrell, the southpaw with Montreal, and he's been in 4 or 5 of them already this season. There's a swing by DeJesus, and he's got himself a base hit into center field. Second hit of the inning. If Cott got a victory here tonight, it would put him into a tie with Urban Red Faber. That Fable's career with the Chicago White Sox in total victories. There's a swing by Clydes, and Gene fouls that one high over to the seats on the right field side. It would give Cott 254 career wins, the same as the late Urban Faber had. Teddy Lyons, also of the White Sox, finished his career with 260. He goes after a low curveball and golfs it out to the right fielder. McBride moves to his right. He's got it easily. 2 singles in the inning, but a double play. No runs. 1 man left on the bases. And at the end of 5.5 innings here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, the Phillies come to bat. It'll be the top of the batting order again. McBride will be stepping in for the 4th time in the ball game, and the Phillies lead 5-0.
This is WGN Radio, Chicago.
What is it?
The hash brown's pan, hash brown.
Some people don't know McDonald's hash brown when they see one.
Your breakfast, Major.
Eggs scrambled fresh?
Fresh scrambled eggs, check.
Sausage, pork?
Pure pork sausage, check.
Muffin English, toasted?
Toasted English muffin, check.
And a funny-looking crispy thing.
Hash brown.
Perfect.
You check, Major.
A major breakfast.
But even though a McDonald's hash brown may look a little funny, it certainly tastes great.
How did you do that? Do what, ma'am?
Stick all my little hash browns into one cute little patty.
Oh, well,
It must take hours and hours.
A unique, funny-looking shape you can eat with your fingers.
Larry, don't eat with your fingers.
But the man with the deep voice, he said I could.
Our crispy golden hash browns are a little funny looking, but one thing's sure, they do go great with whatever we've got cooked in.
They are funny looking.
But they're delicious.
Well, I didn't ask delicious. I figured they were delicious.
Oh,
This is McDonald's, but
Yes,
I'll
they're
have
funny.
some.
Okay.
I'll have some.
Get ready to smile.
McDonald's hash browns, crisp and golden on the outside, tender on the inside.
Just like our world-famous fries.
But still funny looking.
McDonald's,
Served only at breakfast.
we do it all for you.
Well, before Babe McBride steps in for the 4th time tonight, let's pause for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio, Chicago.
Bake grounded out to Trio, struck out and popped up the trio. Roberts' first pitch to him. He swings, slaps the ground ball down to Dave Kingman at first base. He's got it. Wins the race to the bag over the speedy McBride, and there's one away. Dave likes playing over at first base. He thought it would have been nicer if he'd been able to have a few games out in spring training at that position. Worked a couple of innings against Milwaukee over at Sun City. He cut a ball off the dirt into the finger of his bare hand, and he was out of action for about 3 days. That's the only time he played at first there this spring. The pitch is low, ball one. Larry Boa, 2 hits tonight in 3 trips. Takes a mighty swing on a change and taps a weak little foul ball over to the end of the Cub dugout. Singled and scored in the first inning. Singled in the second. Grounded out, leading off the fourth. Dave peers down to get his sign. Steps back, kicks, delivers. Boa swings and a hard liner. Base hit. Ottaveras leaped as high and as far to the right as he could. The ball barely inside the foul line. And a throw by Kleinson to second base, and Boa trying to go in there, but Trio is there with the ball. And a fine throw by Gene Kleins. And Boa with a single is out trying to stretch it into a double. We can use a little bit of help. Boy, that ball was a bullet down at third. And inside the line by just a few inches. So the bases are empty, 2 gone. And here is Mike Schmidt. Doubled in a run in the first, tapped out in the second. And hit a fly ball that Bobby Mercer tried to make a basket catch on in right field and dropped it for a 3-base error, and he was able to score then. Takes the first pitch, a strike. Roberts' next pitch swung on and a drive into center field. Base hit. Second one of the inning. But Boa rubbed out trying to stretch the single into 2. Is in the dugout. So Schmidt is on at first with 2 away, and here comes the bull. Lazinski reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. Stole second. That was against Dennis Lamp. He led off the third against Dennis and sent him to the showers with his 3rd home run of the season. He had 4 against the Cubs last year. Looks at the first pitch outside a ball. Lazinski walked in the 4th. Roberts checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch, way high and outside. Ball 2 to Lazinski. When he walked in the 4th inning, it's the 11th time this year that he's drawn a free pass. Here's the pitch. Swung on a miss. A breaking ball. Acted like a screwball. Pirates 2, the New York Mets nothing in the 4th inning tonight at New York. There's one that's high and outside. Ball 3, strike 1. San Diego, Houston, no score after 1. And earlier today, St. Louis defeated Montreal 7-2 to end their 6th straight losing streak and end the Montreal Expos' 5-game winning streak. There's a ball inside at the knees. Lazinski gets his 2nd walk of the night. Mike Schmidt goes to second. And with 2 out, Richie Hebner stepping in. Singled off Roberts in the 4th inning and drove in Schmidt. Abe was wild when he first came out of relief. That's understandable because it's his first appearance of the season. Hebner, a left-handed hitter. First pitch, and he takes a wild swing and a miss. He's rarely ever going to get cheated out of his cuts. Yankees leading Baltimore 3-1 in the 6th at Baltimore. Palmer trying to run his record to 3-0, but having trouble. 0-1 pitch. Changes on him, and he taps a foul ball back to the screen. Don't forget Jacket Day at Wrigley Field. Cubs and the San Francisco Giants. Saturday and Sunday, May 6th and 7th. First 15,000 youngsters, 13 and under. with a fully paid admission ticket, not including the bleachers, receive one of those fine souvenir Cub jackets. Well, Saturday and Sunday when the Giants are at Wrigley Field. 2 on, 2 out. 0-2 pitch. Swung on, and he bounces it foul. Prior to that, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the National League defending champions, will be in Chicago May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They are leading at Cincinnati tonight. If they win, they move into first place in the Western Division. Roberts' pitch, and it's tucked in under the chin of the left-handed hitting Richie Hebner. Backs him away. Ball 1, strike 2. Runners at first and second. Here's a pitch. Look out. That one came inside and hit him, I believe, in the right hand. Yes, it did. But he gets up and trots down to first base, and the bases are loaded. That's the second batter that Roberts has hit tonight. The other one was pitcher Jim Cott on a 1-2 pitch in the 3rd inning, and that loaded the bases then. And they're jammed right now. Schmidt at third, Luzinski at second, Hebner at first base the hard way. And Gary Maddox is going to be the batter. Got an infield single in the 2nd inning when he led off. Stole second, stole third. Well, Bob Boone was at bat. Boone then wound up throwing a walk, and both men scored eventually. Maddox walked in the 3rd, then hit into an inning-ending double play in the 4th. Gary now hitting .298. Driven in 3 runs. Tall, speedy, right-handed hitter. No place to put him but in the dugout. Back out to center field. Dave in a jam. Taking a long time. Looks at Rader. Still looking. Shakes his head. Now he says, okay, that's the one I want. Here it comes. And he misses with a fastball outside at the letters. Ball 1. San Diego and Houston in the 3rd, still scoreless. Flat in the bottom of the 6th, leading the Giants 3-1. Cincinnati in the 4th, trailing the Dodgers 3-1. Here's a swing and a deep drive left field. Fine's coming over, and he drops the ball. He kicks it in towards the infield. 1 runner scored, another run scoring. The runner going to 3rd, and on the throw to 3rd base, Maddox winds up at 2nd, and the Phillies have a 7-0 lead. Well, we're continuing to give the opposition help. Ball was sinking, and Klein's coming over. Could not handle it. I was going to give him a base hit. Means he has 5 runs batted in now. And he takes second on the throw to 3rd base. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, and Bob Boone the batter. First pitch to him is a ball high. He's walked twice tonight, flied to center. Boy, you're not going to win many games playing like they have here in Philadelphia. There's the ball. 2-0. Now they're going to put him on intentionally and take their chances with Davy Johnson. This intentional walk will load him up again. And it's the 5th walk that Dave has given up. It is being wild. It's going to count for by the fact that he just came off the disabled list a few days ago and is making his first appearance of the season. He'd had to have a cortisone shot in the left shoulder. Johnson tonight has struck out twice and flied to right field. Struck out against Lamp, struck out against Dave, and flied out to right against Dave. Veteran right-handed hitter, bases jammed. First pitch, caught the outside corner. Baltimore batting in the sixth. The Yankees leading 3-1. Texas leading Kansas City 3-0 in the bottom of the second at Arlington. Here's a swing and a hard one hopper to Jesus. He's got it, throws to Trio, and the side is retired. So that time, with Boone forced, the intentional walk pays off. 2 runs in the inning on 2 base hits, one of them on the questionable side. A couple of walks, 1 intentional, and a hit batsman. 3 men left on. Could be worse. They have left 10 men stranded, and at the end of 6 innings of play, Philadelphia leads 7-0.
The gallows and the hose. We make car buying a pleasure again.
I'll handle this, Carol. It's our first new car, and this salesman is going to come at us like a ton of bricks.
But the sign says we make car buying a pleasure again.
I don't care what the sign says. Hi, can I help you? See, Carol? Patronizing.
We're interested in a Cutlass.
I don't blame you. Pressuring us already.
Can we look around for a while? I'm not sure about color or equipment.
Listen, just take your time. If you have any questions or you want some help, I'll be right here. Now he's ignoring us, Carol.
Jack, that salesman is a pleasure to deal with.
Well, he won't be here when we need him. Watch. Yes, sir? Nice place you have here.
Visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer today. Find out how we can make car buying a pleasure for you.
The gallows and the hose. We make car buying a pleasure again. The gallows and the hose. We make car buying a pleasure again. The gallows and the hose.
Well, it's going to take some doing for the Cubs now to get back in the ballgame. Bobby Mercer, Dave Kingman, Manny Tree to lead off against Jim Cott. Pirates in the 4th at Shea Stadium with a 2-0 lead. Cincinnati batting in the 4th. They trail Los Angeles 3-1. Atlanta in the bottom of the 6th, batting against the Giants. The Braves lead that one 3-1. Earlier today, St. Louis defeated Montreal 7-2. While Cleveland of the American League and Paul Dade's Grand Slammer knocked off Toronto 6-5. Boston 4, Milwaukee 3 in the 8th inning. First pitch to Bobby, a ball. There's a swing and a well-hit drive, but Maddox moving over to his left is there. Center fielder makes the chest-high catch. Bobby is still hitless at Veterans Stadium this year in 6 trips. He had a couple of home runs here last year. But that was last year. Dave Kingman led off the 2nd inning with a drive that sent Maddox to the fence. And when Maddox could not hold on to the ball, there's a curve, and he takes a strike. He was charged with a very tough error. In the 4th inning, Dave popped up to Maddox. There's a let up, and he's way out in front. It's a towering foul down the left field side. It should wind up in the seats, and it does. Boy, he had him out in front. Cubs with 2 hits so far, officially. Tall veteran in the hill delivers, and Kingman takes the fastball inside above the knees. And Boone fires it back to Cott in a hurry. They have an outfield shift on for him and an infield shift. 3 men on the left side in the infield, and he picks the ball high. Luzinski is only about 20 feet away from the foul line. Maddox is way over in left center, and McBride is over into right center field. So curve is high. We have never seen a team put this kind of a defensive alignment against Kingman. The only guy on the right side at all is the first baseman, Hebner. There's a swing and a miss. They all could have been in the dugout because he fans. Cott took care of him himself, and Jim has his 5th strikeout of the night. Manny Trio in the 2nd inning looked at strike 3. He led off the 5th inning, popping up to the second baseman, Davy Johnson. Base is empty. Sox lead Detroit 2-1 in the top of the 3rd at Sox Park. First pitch of the ball, too low. Now Maddox back over into medium depth in right center field for Trio. He chops a ground ball, Bo with the shortstop in and to his right, takes a step, wheels the throw over there just in time. God is a masterful performer here tonight. 3 up and 3 down. Philadelphia Philly fans happy. They'll be standing for the 7th inning stretch. The score, Phillies 7 and the Cubs 0.
Oh, waitress.
Yes, sir. Ready to order?
I'd like a Vienna pastrami sandwich. No pickle.
Vienna pastrami, no pickle.
And no bread.
Vienna pastrami, no pickle, no bread. Sir, with a sandwich, you gotta have bread.
Please, all I want is tender, juicy Vienna pastrami. No bread, okay?
Sir, on the menu, it's a Vienna pastrami sandwich, and with a sandwich, you gotta have bread.
Look, I get coffee without cream, potatoes without gravy. Why not a Vienna pastrami sandwich without bread?
I'll ask the boss.
Maybe I could get a Vienna corned beef, tender, juicy, lean slices.
Sir, we can fix you a Vienna pastrami sandwich without bread.
Terrific.
Just a thin sliced Vienna pastrami. Now, on the Vienna pastrami sandwich, what kind of bread did you want it without? Rye, white, pumpernickel?
Say, next time you want a really delicious corned beef or pastrami sandwich, with or without bread, visit your favorite restaurant, delicatessen, or food store displaying the Vienna name. And for the best hot dog in town, look for a Vienna hot dog stand.
Johnny Moore worked at last night's game. Much to his chagrin, is coming on to be the new pitcher. And Mick Kelleher is going in to play second base. Moore will bat at the 5th spot where Trio was. And Kelleher will hit in the pitcher's spot in the batting order. Dave Rader said after the game last night that on the play, on the sacrifice, where Donnie got the ball well over on the third base side, Rader said, I told him to go to third, and he said, it's all my fault. Donaveras had also come over to pick up that bunt and try to make the play at first, and when Donnie wheeled the throw to third, it wound up down by the ball girl down the left field foul line. And it really shook him up. It was pretty wild for a while after that. Right-hander looks down. He's going to face Jim Cott. First pitch, fastball outside. Johnny's record officially, 1 win, no losses. But his earned run average balloon last night went way up over the 8 mark. There's a swing by Cott, and he fouls one deep into the seats on the third base side. That makes it ball 1, strike 1 on number 39, Jim Cott. There's a swing and a bouncing tap down the first base line. Kingman gloves it, and he tags Scott, who actually went out of the baseline trying to avoid the tag. That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Bake McBride, who's been up 4 times already tonight and has gone for the collar. Phillies with 7 runs on 9 hits. Johnny's curve. And McBride looks at a strike that came in on the inside corner to the left-hander. McBride with 8 hits so far, and he's struggling at the plate. Let's see if he continues to do it. There's a let-up swung on, and he rolls one out to Kelleher at second base. Makes the peg to Dave Kingman, and they're 2 gone. Larry Bowa, the batter. He is 3 for 4 tonight with a run scored. He hit .351 against the Cubs last year. May do better than that this year, the way he's going. He's now 4 for 9 against Cub pitching this season. First pitch to the little guy was a little high. And he takes that one into the dirt. Ball 2. He's a switch hitter. Couldn't make his high school team. Coach didn't think he was big enough or good enough. Now he's a major league veteran and a darn good one. Fastball just missed. Moore questioning that call by Paul Runge. He thought that should have been a strike. Wouldn't give him the outside corner, and the count goes to 3-0 on Bo with the bases empty, 2 out. Here's the pitch. That's a ball, low and inside. No question about that one. Dennis Lamp in 2 innings tonight. 5 hits, including a home run by Luzinski. Second homer off Dennis this year. Bill Robinson of the Pirates had hit the other one off of him. Charged with 4 runs, walked 1. Roberts in 4 innings, 2 hits, 5 walks, 2 hit batsmen, and a wild pitch. Now Mike Schmidt stepping in. A double, a single, then on a 3-base error. Bobby Mercer dropped his fly ball, and he looks at that pitch outside. So officially tonight, Schmidt is 2 for 4, and he's 4 for 7 in this series. Batted in a run tonight, his 14th of the year. Right-hander swings, and he hits a high foul. It's going to be a souvenir in the seats over in the first base side. Well, we have looked completely disorganized, Lou, ever since that big inning against us last night.
Yes. We're a much better-looking ball club and can play much better than what we have tonight.
Moore gets his sign, checks the runner at first. Schmidt takes one into the dirt. Blocked by Rader, hustles out, picks it up, throws high, it sails into center field. Here's Boa getting up. He's going to third. Here's Cruz's throw. And he is in at third base. Ball broke into the dirt. Rader had his body squared away. It bounced off of him out about 6-7 feet in front of the plate. Then Dave, realizing Boa's speed, of course, hustled, tried to get too much on the throw, and it just sailed on him. Wild pitch and an error on the throw by Dave. Second wild pitch thrown by the Cubs tonight. The count on Schmidt, 1-2. Here's the delivery. Swung on, he got just a piece of it, tapped it foul. San Diego, Houston scoreless in the bottom of the third. Since he's still batting in the bottom of the fifth, trailing Los Angeles and Tommy John 3-1. Pittsburgh batting in the fifth at New York, 2-0 over the New York Mets. Atlanta still leading San Francisco 3-1 at Atlanta. There's a swing and a mile-high pop-up. Mickey Kelleher under this one on the carpet. Grab it, Mick. He does, squeezes it, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, a walk, and an error. 1 man left on the bases. At the end of 7 at Philadelphia, Phillies lead 7-0.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
Hi, Bob. It's Kathy Roller.
Oh, hi, Kathy. Still entering those advertising contests?
Just listen to my latest entry.
Okay.
Why are Ajax doorknobs best? Because they're better than the others.
How many have you won, Kathy?
None altogether, and I have to pay for so much postage I can't pay all my bills.
Ooh, you need a consolidation loan.
My bills are piled so very high they almost reach onto the ceiling.
Well, we can turn them all into one easy monthly payment.
Oh, joy and wonder is
Kathy, next entry, try to make things rhyme.
Oh, there's a thought.
Well?
Like this? When you call Bob, he's very friendly to help you out. He'll over-backward Bentley.
That's better.
Thanks, Bob.
You can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
There are 70 General Finance Chicago area offices. Call General Finance's friendly Bob Adams to borrow up to $10,000. Call Andover 32020. Also an office in McHenry.
I imagine, Lou, that there's going to be a little second guessing on Herman in the 6th inning. When the Cubs came to bat, they were trailing in the ball game 5-0, and Dave Rader led off top of the 6th with a single, and Dave Roberts batted for himself and hit into a double play.
Well, I think he left himself open there, of course. Could have used a pinch hitter. That was the first hit. And it was a leadoff single.
Yeah.
We could have started an inning. Jesus followed up with a single. So it's going to be interesting to see what some of the sports writers have to say about it.
Olivares goes after that pitch, and he sends McBride back a few steps in right field to haul it in. In the bottom of that same inning, the Phillies padded their lead with 2 more runs off of Roberts. And Donnie Moore pitched the 7th inning. Here's a swing by Cruz, and he lets a high pop up to Greg Lisinski in shallow left field. The Bull has no trouble getting that one. Cruz 0 for 3 tonight, and hitless at Philadelphia in 7 trips now. Larry Cox is going to bat for Dave Rader. Larry finished up catching last night's game, and he got a base hit as a pinch hitter. Right-hander. The guy swings, and he fouls it out of play. He started his professional career with these Philadelphia Phillies in the minors several years ago. We're in the 8th with the bases empty, 2 gone. Hot's next one just missed outside. Cubs been credited with 2 singles in the 6th inning. That's all off Jim. There's a swing and a fastball that's fouled back out of play. Just can't get anything going against this guy. First outing of the year for him. Wears uniform number 39, and that's also his age. Fastball, Larry late going after, fouls it over to the right side. Ball 1, strike 2. 2 out, bases empty in the top of the 8th. That's up on that one, and he misses, low and away. Wines delivers a fastball too high. If he wins tonight, he will move ahead. The late Urban Red Faber, the White Sox, in total victories in the majors, move into it. I believe it is with Teddy Lyons. He misses low with that one, and Cox is on. Philadelphia bullpen now is active, just in case he really starts to run out of gas. That's the first walk that he's issued tonight. Mick Keller, hitting in the 9th spot, steps in for the first time this evening. And he looks at one low. Sorry, not low enough, I guess. Going to be ruled a strike. There's a curve. Misses downstairs with it. Keller hitting just 167. He's 2 for 12 this year with a run batted in. There's a swing and a high foul. That's going to be out of play to the right side. And the count goes to ball 1, strike 2 on Kelleher. With 2 away. We're in the 8th. And so far, it's not been a very happy trip. Mick takes that one inside at the knees as to jump back out of the way. Ball 2, strike 2. He looks down to Peanut Flower, and Peanut says, "You got 2 strikes on you, man. Hit one. Hard as you can. Or somebody ain't." Shallow for him in the outfield, and center and right particularly. Jim delivers a fastball, swung on. He does. He lines one into left field. Lisinski coming over to his right, picks it up, and the Cubs have runners at first and second. With 2 out, a walk and a single by Mick Kelleher. Officially hit number 3 for the Cubs. And Ivan DeJesus stepping in. 1 for 3 tonight. 3 for 8 here at Philadelphia. The right-hander steps in, sporting a .323 batting average. Scott throws a curve, and it's in for a strike. Comes right over the top with it. And you know the old expression, it drops right off the end of the table. That's what that one does when he gives it that much spin. The change swung on and a deep drive to the center fielder, Maddox. He goes back into his right, clubs it nonchalantly, and that takes care of the 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, a walk, and 2 men left on. The Cubs have 4 men stranded here tonight, while the Philadelphia Phillies have left 11 on. They lead the end of 7.5, 7-0.
Think of your True Value Hardware Store's paint department as a home improvement center. Now, the True Test paints which they manufacture can help you make a major improvement in the appearance of your home, easily and inexpensively. For example, True Test Easy Care Latex Flat Enamel, the paint that's earned the Good Housekeeping seal, has a soft, flat look and a scrubbable finish, so it'll beautify and protect walls and woodwork in any room. Choose Easy Care in white or 44 colors for just $10.97 a gallon. Or for an extremely economical paint, get True Test Select Flat Interior Latex in white and pastels for just $6.97 a gallon. Improve your home easily and inexpensively with True Test paints. Sold exclusively at participating True Value Hardware stores and the home centers.
True Value Hardware is more than just a name. It's a way of doing business that means True Value.
The new press service this year, Western Union, gave up their sports ticker service, and telecommunications, that's based in headquartered in New York, is taken over. Tonight, with all the action going on in the playoffs in hockey and in the NBA and all the baseball games, for the last 10 minutes, they have been sending tests. Little brown fox jumped over the lazy dog's back. Yes, your test is all right. Now, how about giving us some scores? That's what we're paying for. I don't suppose I'd be quite so short-tempered, Lou, if the score was reversed.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. But then again, what would you expect coming out of New York?
Yeah. Here's Lazinski swinging, hits one off the handle, drives it into right field. Boy, that guy is something. That was a good pitch to him. But he is so strong. Drove it out into right. He homered leading off the third, and that one sent Dennis Lamp to the showers, and the ball is going to be taken out. Jerry Martin replacing him on the bases, and he'll stay and play left field, gives him 5. Richie Hebner stepping in. Left-hander swings and misses. Boy, does he take a cut. He's hit by a pitch in the 6th inning, singled in the 4th, drove in a run. He's 1 for 3. Johnny Moore's next pitch is low. Moore's having some trouble with that mound. I don't know whether it's a steeper slope than he's accustomed to, but that's about the second or third time, Lou, that he's lost his footing on that follow-through.
It could be, and he may be stepping right into Jim Cott's spot, and that's a left-hander. You see, he turned completely around on that one.
Tried to throw a curve, and it was low and inside, nicely blocked by Larry Cox. Seemed like he took a longer stride than he normally does on that one, too.
Well, this, of course, can upset a pitcher. He will try to take a longer stride or a shorter stride to move around that mound, which is 17 inches long.
Runner at first. Jerry Martin doesn't go, and that pitch is a ball a little bit low to Hebner. This is the one he likes to take a whack at. Ball 3, strike 1. He and every other batter. This is Downey's 2nd inning of work tonight. Right-hander ready. 3-1 pitch. Low and inside, ball 4. Nobody out. Philadelphia runners at 1st and 2nd. And Gary Maddox, the center fielder, stepping in. Got an infield single and a drive into center field in the 6th inning. Batted in a pair of runs tonight. Stolen 2 bases. Scored a run. Other than that, he hasn't done much. Seven to nothing, Philadelphia. Look at second and Moore's pitch. Swung out a bouncing ball to DeJesus. He's got it. Goes to second for Kelleher, who does his push but manages to hold on to the ball and keep a foot in the bag while he's doing it. They get the force out at second on Hebner. But the Phillies have men in the corners. Maddox over at first base on the fielder's choice. And Jerry Martin, the bench runner, over at third. Bob Boone, the batter. Walked 3 times tonight, once intentionally, scored a run, flied out to center, and his only official trip to the plate. First pitch. Little low. Ball 1. Last year, while the Phillies beat the Cubs 12 out of 18 games, the Cubs had the edge on them here at Philadelphia. The fastball missing inside at the letters. Ball 2. Beat them 5, lost 4 times here at Philadelphia last year. They're off to a bad start this campaign. Moore ready with the 2-0 delivery. And Bob Boone swings. He's handcuffed by it. Hits it down to Oliveris. Goes to second. Kelleher's relay to Kingman. He backhands the ball in time for a double play to retire the side. And that's for the Cubs, their second twin killing of the night and their 10th of the year. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left on. And at the end of 8 full innings of play, the mountain to climb now. Philadelphia leading 7-0.
This is WGN Radio, Chicago.
When you brew a beer once, you've got a good beer. But when you brew a beer twice, you've got a great light beer. A great light beer called Old Style from God's country. Heileman's Old Style is brewed in a traditional old world way called krausening. Krausening is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Most expensive because it takes more time. But Heileman has been brewing beer this way since we first opened our doors back in 1853. Krausening is what makes Old Style the great light beer it is today. Taste the difference Krausening makes. Try Old Style, pure brewed in God's country. G. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Oh, no. No, wait a minute. No, I think he moved ahead of paper. He tied line. Jim Koch last pitched a shutout July 11th of 1976. Beat San Diego 3-0. He's an amazing guy. 18th year in the majors. And the Cubs so far tonight been credited with 3 singles against him. Gene Kleins stepping in, has looked at strike 3, grounded to short, flied to right. First pitch, and the right-hander goes after it, hits a high fly down the right field foul line. Bake McBride over. Does he have room? Yep, but he grabs it. Right up against the wall. Near foul territory. Seats angle out just about, maybe 3-4 feet from the foul line to where those seats in the rise come out towards the playing field. Oh, Mercer stepping in. Done nothing tonight at the plate. Grounded out. Stopped easily. And the ball missing. Todd had been tied in major league victories in his career with Carl Hubble at 253. As a swing and a tap foul. And this one will give him 254, tying him with the late Urban Faber. Teddy Lyons, who also had a great career with the White Sox, wound up with 260 wins. Mercer hits a high foul that's going to be out of play to the right side. And, of course, Jim Koch spent a couple of years for the White Sox also. did Faber. And line. There's a swing and a drive. Going to be caught by the second baseman, Davy Johnson. Thought it might carry out of his range. But he went back on the carpet, reached up with both hands, and there are two gone to the ninth. A 39-year-old veteran needs only one more now. And he'll have, in his first appearance of the season, a shutout victory. And with Kingman stepping in, again they go into the ballet shift. 3 men on the left side of the infield, and 3 outfielders on the left side. And Kingman goes after the first pitch and misses for a strike. The ball solidly his first time up. Set Maddox to the wall. He goes after a low one, grounds it to the second baseman, Davy Johnson. Long throw. The ball game is over. And Jim Cott will get congratulations, and he'll hang on to that souvenir baseball. He allowed the Cubs 3 official hits for his 254th career win and his 30th lifetime shutout. Phillies have won the first 2, and the final here tonight, Philadelphia 7, the Cubs nothing.
What is it?
The hash browns pie. Hash browns.
Some people don't know McDonald's hash brown when they see one.
Our crispy golden hash browns are a little funny looking, but one thing's sure, they do go great with whatever we got cooked in.
They are funny looking.
But they're delicious.
Well, I didn't ask delicious. I figured delicious. This is McDonald's. I'll have some.
Get ready to smile.
McDonald's hash browns, crisp and golden on the outside, tender on the inside.
Just like our world famous fries.
But still funny looking.
Served only at breakfast.
If you want a hand drill that's really handy, get the Stanley push drill from True Value Hardware stores. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you when you need to bore a small hole in wood or plasterboard, the Stanley hand drill is all you need. It's as compact as a screwdriver. You don't need electricity, and it's just $3.99. For a handy tape measure, get the Stanley 20-foot tape lock. It has a positive blade lock for accuracy and a belt clip to keep it close at hand. Trading True Value Hardware stores.
Well, congratulations to Jim Cott. 30 career shutouts, 254 career victories. He starts out with a bang at his first appearance on the Hill officially for the Phillies this year. That evens up for the loss the Cubs inflicted on him last year. Dennis Lamp, the loser, the rookie's third defeat after a shutout victory in his last outing against the Mets. Phillies 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, left a dozen men. The Cubs no runs, 3 hits, 2 errors officially, and they leave only 4 men stranded. More than 17,200 paid, and was reeled off in 2 hours and 4 minutes. And I hope tomorrow night we snap out of it, Luke.
Well, I do too, because we did not look like a Major League Ball club tonight, and we can swing bats much better than what we did. And I'm quite sure that Herman Franks may have a few words either tonight or tomorrow before that game with the Phillies. We've got a tough hombre, another southpaw, Carlton, but we've got our best shot going to Rick Russell.
Hope we can give him a little support. We'll be right back with a word about tomorrow night's ball game. Our broadcast tonight from Philadelphia has been brought to us by General Finance's 70 Chicagoland offices. Remember to borrow up to $10,000. Pick up the phone and call friendly Bob Adams at Andover 32020. True Value Hardware Stores, not just a name, it's their way of doing business. The G. Heilman Brewing Company of La Crosse, Wisconsin, makers of Old Style, the pure brewed beer from God's country. The Association of Chicagoland McDonald's Restaurants. Why don't you have breakfast at McDonald's tomorrow? And your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers, find out how the gallant men of Olds can make car buying a pleasure for you. I'll have the scoreboard in just a few moments. Bring you a rundown on all of the other action. And tomorrow night, it's going to be veteran Steve Carlton, Cy Young Award winner last year, the second time in his career that he's done that. And against him, Rick Russell, who came doggone near getting a Cy Young Award last year, but Cubs failed to do much for him in his last half dozen outings. And he wound up losing 5 out of his last 6 decisions to wind up 20-10 for the year. So a tough right-hander against a veteran tough left-hander for the Phillies. In the finale of this one, and let's see if the Cubs can't salvage that final game. We'll be on the air with you in Chicago at 6:15 to talk a little baseball. And 15 minutes after that, it'll be time for the network to come on in and join us. But tonight it was all Jim Cott and the Philadelphia Phillies, a winner 7-0. Our broadcast authorized under rights granted by the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers for this event. It's solely for the entertainment of our audience. And any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of the game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited. Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio, Chicago.
Do it yourself with Heinz Lumber and Building Supplies. We can help you do it yourself with Heinz Lumber and Building Supplies. The best lumber and tools are yours to choose, and our people can tell you just what you need.
Heinz trainload of redwood has just arrived. Its rustic texture and earthy color make it a handsome deck or fence. And just compare their low trainload prices. Garden-grade redwood 2x4s are just 49 cents a linear foot. They'll even cut your order size and deliver it. Heinz also had redwood platters and furniture. Start your redwood project now so you'll have the whole summer to enjoy it.
We can help you do it yourself with Heinz Lumber and Building Supplies. Heinz Lumber and Building Supplies.
See Edward Hines Lumber Company in Evanston at 1613 Church Street.
Hi, everybody. Vince Lloyd back with you at Philadelphia. And it's time now for a look at the scoreboard brought to us tonight by Continental Airlines. Remember, there's no lower fare to anywhere they fly than their chicken feed fares. And there are no restrictions. Pittsburgh leading 2-0 against the New York Mets tonight in the 6th inning. And the Mets have sent Butch Metzger into pitch in the 5th, replacing the rookie Brewhart. Metzger is the guy that the Cubs really roughed up the other day, Sunday at Wrigley Field. The Dodgers, meanwhile, posted single runs in the first 3 innings at Cincinnati, and they're now in the 7th inning of that ball game. The Dodgers, behind Tommy John, lead the Reds 3-1. Tom Hume pitching for Cincy. And if Los Angeles holds on for a victory there tonight, they will move a half game in front of the Cincinnati Reds for the leadership in the National League Western Division. The Cubs had a good opportunity to move to within a half game tonight of the Montreal Expos because Montreal earlier in the day finally lost a ball game, and the St. Louis Cardinals finally won one. St. Louis a winner in that one this afternoon, 7-2. John Urea getting his first win after 2 losses, and young Hal Deuce suffering the defeat, his first decision this year for the Expos. No homers in the ball game. The Cardinals won it with 4 runs in the 7th and 3 in the 9th. And understand that our good friend Jack Buck, in a talk show down at St. Louis last night, revealed that manager Vern Rapp had singled out Ted Simmons about 9 or 10 days ago after a Cardinal loss when they were in the clubhouse after the ball game, and Simmons was listening to some music, either on the radio or on a record player in the dressing room, and Rapp took out after the veteran catcher, who has been outstanding, of course, for the Cardinals, charged him with not being a winner. Well, Simmons says it's all over with and forgotten now, and Rapp says the same. But things like that have a tendency to linger in the minds of the principals involved for a long, long time. Well, anyway, it didn't bother the Cardinals today. They beat Montreal 7-2. They pick up a full game out of, course. They're 3.5 games out. The Cubs with this loss stay a game and a half away. And the Phillies are just 1 game out. They move 1 game over the 500 mark. The victory tonight by the Phils. They're 7th against 6 defeats. And the Cub record now stands at 500, 8 wins, 8 losses. San Diego is trailing the Houston Astros tonight. Joe Ferguson hit his 5th home run of the year in the 5th inning to break up a 1-1 tie, and the Houston Astros are now leading San Diego 3-1 in the 6th inning. Mark Lemongello going against Randy Jones. And Atlanta's Braves before a very slim turnout tonight in Atlanta, only 2,193. So veteran Phil Niekro finally get a victory after suffering 4 losses. He went the distance to defeat the San Francisco Giants 3-1. Niekro allowed 6 hits. Jim Barr, the losing pitcher, his second defeat after 1 win. Atlanta winning 3-1 in that ball game. And I'll be back to take a look at more on the scoreboard right after this.
Fly us to Chicago for only $75. The flights are unscheduled, of course. So 2 months before you...
Fly our special Econo-Night Youth Super Standby Waitlist fare. Good only February 30th and 31st. And in September on weekends.
Yes, friends. We can save you 80%. Just make your reservations in the next 10 seconds and pick up your tickets by mail. Or come in
almost anywhere for just $50. Now, that provides you detainers, and you never know. You'll keep one part of the reservation, but...
Continental Airlines has put an end to discount fare confusion.
If you can't fly Continental, you might as well not fly.
Continental's new chicken feed fares are unbeatable. They save you up to 40% off regular coach with no restrictions of any kind. But seats are limited, so call your travel agent or Continental Airlines now. Ask for the chicken feed fare. There's no lower fare from here to there.
Fares effective May 15th, subject to CAB approval. In the American League tonight, the latest we have in the White Sox, they lead Detroit 2-1. Our ticker says it's in the 5th inning in Chicago. At Milwaukee, the ball game is over. Before 9,000 people, the Red Sox defeated the Brewers 4-3. Despite a home run by Larry Heisel in the 6th inning, his 6th of the year, and despite one in the 4th inning by Gorman Thomas. Both came with the bases empty, and Bill Lee, the colorful left-hander for the Red Sox, now has won 4 without a loss. Jerry Augustine, the young southpaw for Milwaukee, suffers his second defeat after 3 victories. That win now for the Boston Red Sox leaves them 6 games over the 500 mark. They've won 11 and lost only 5. Milwaukee, off to a flying start, now is back to the 500 mark. They are 8-8. Kansas City at Texas tonight, and Hargrove hit one out of the ballpark for the Rangers on behalf of Ferguson Jenkins. Came with nobody on, and Richie Zisk belted one with 1 man on as the Rangers jumped out in front of Dennis Leonard in Kansas City with 3 runs in the first. They picked up another one in the second, and at the end of 5, it's Texas 4, Kansas City nothing. So if Jenkins can hold on to that one, Fergie will have his first win to go along with 1 defeat, but they're in the 6th. This afternoon at Toronto, 11,348 saw young Paul Dade get the thrill of his first Major League Grand Slam homer. It was his second home run this year, but the first in his career with the bases loaded. And it led Cleveland to a 6-5 victory. Wayne Garland, a millionaire hurler for the Indians, now has won 2 and lost 2 this year. And Jerry Garvin, the loser for the Blue Jays, is 1-1. Minnesota out at Oakland tonight at the end of 2 innings of play. Twins nothing, the A's nothing. Seattle getting underway at California tonight. McLaughlin for the Mariners against Knapp. And the New York Yankees playing at Baltimore tonight. Mahan, Jim Palmer, his first loss of the season. He had won his first 2 outings. Jim Beattie, a rookie, starting the ball game. Sparky Lyle has relieved him. But the Yankees, on Spencer's homer in the 9th inning, his 3rd of the year, former White Soxer, now lead Baltimore 4-1 in the bottom of inning number 9. And let's take a look at some of the action in hockey tonight. Our ticker has not given us anything on the Toronto-New York Islanders game in New York. That one is even at 2 games apiece. Montreal and Detroit at the end of 2 periods are tied 2-2. If Montreal wins that one tonight, it is all over for Detroit's Red Wings. Montreal carries a 3-1 game lead in that one. And over at the Spectrum just across the street, we know they got to be in later than this, but they've only given us a first period score with the Flyers leading Buffalo 1-0. And Philadelphia needing a victory in that one, and they will have eliminated the Buffalo Sabres. They lead them 3-1. At the end of the half, Washington Bullets trail San Antonio by 2 points, 57-55. The San Antonio Spurs battling for their lives. They trail Washington in games. They have 1 victory, and the Washington Bullets have 3 wins. Denver playing at Milwaukee tonight. And it's Denver 57, Milwaukee 39. That's at the end of the half. Denver leading 2-1 over Milwaukee in that NBA playoff game. You know, your local Z-Bart auto and truck rust-proofing dealer invites you to ask yourself this question. If automotive rust-proofing is so easy that every Tom, Dick, and Jones offers it as a sideline, why does Z-Bart, the national pioneer and leader in the field, specialize in rust-proofing? The answer is obvious, because completed thorough rust-proofing is a complicated, highly skilled specialty requiring special tools and special training. And what's so special about the Z-Bart process? Everything. Z-Bart Rust Protection penetrates the places where most rust starts, the inner seams of your car. Z-Bart dealers get inside your new car's body and cover rust-prone metal, including the underside of your vehicle, with a unique sealant. Don't settle for less. Before you let a car dealer or local garage sell you a so-called rust-proofing job, visit one of the 26 Z-Bart dealers in the Chicagoland area and have him actually show you the difference. Remember, Z-Bart says, it's us or rust. Well, rather than belabor you with what the Phillies did here tonight in detail, we'll just say that they got the only run they needed in the very first inning. With one away, Larry Boa singled to left field, and Mike Schmidt hit a double into center field in the hit and run. Boa came across the plate with the only run that 39-year-old Jim Cott really needed. But they got 2 more in the second, 1 in the third, and 1 in the fourth inning, 2 more in the sixth, and they coasted to a 7-0 victory to lamp the losing pitcher and Jim Cott the winner. And tomorrow night is to be Rick Russell for the Cubs against Steve Carlton for the Phillies in the finale of the series. Hope you can join us at 6:15, and Lou and I will be on to talk a little baseball with you. I'm Vince Lloyd, and that's our scoreboard tonight, brought to us by Continental Airlines. Remember, there's no lower fare to anywhere they fly than their chicken feed fares, and there are no restrictions. This season, the scoreboard is also brought to you by the 26 Chicagoland Z-Bart dealers. This has been a presentation of WGN Sports from WGN Radio Chicago.
I'm Sergeant Ken Taylor of the Michigan State Police. I would like to remind you that when driving on freeways where 2 lanes are available, Michigan law requires that vehicles be driven in the right-hand lane, except when passing or when driving in continuous lanes of traffic. If 3 lanes are available on your side of the freeway, you may drive in any one of the lanes. We'll do our very best to make your trip a safe one. Please help us to help you.
Milt Rosenberg is next on WGN Clear Channel Radio, serving the nation from Chicago.
Good evening. This is Milton Rosenberg, welcoming you again to Extension 720. And because we're so excited about what we're doing tonight, they've given us the air a whole minute earlier than usual. In fact, 1.5 minutes. Tonight, we're trying out a new format. We call it Extension 720 Chases the News, and we will be chasing the news via phone hookups to Washington, to Cambridge, Massachusetts, to somebody in Chicago, that's not long distance, and to Bologna, Italy. We're going to be talking with Dick Creasy, who's a leading arms specialist in Washington, where he consults with and advises many members of Congress about the SALT negotiations just completed, the round just completed in Moscow. Then we'll talk to Casey Banas, the education writer of the Chicago Tribune, who's out of town this week, and we're tracking him down in Cambridge, Massachusetts, to talk with him about the voluntary versus mandatory desegregation plans for the Chicago school system. Other people coming up, and I'll explain why later, are Eleanor Randolph, Washington correspondent for the Chicago Tribune, Frank Ellis, a physician with the United States Public Health Service, and Professor Gianfranco Pasquino of the Department of Political Science at the University of Bologna in Italy. And you will be on the phones with us as well. We're going to have those interviews, and more or less at the usual time, we're going to get your response to them on our usual number, 591-7200. And also, if you're interested, your response to this new format we're trying out tonight. I must now contain my excitement. I've taken too long on this so-called teaser. On to an update on the evening's news, and then we'll be right back, and we'll be talking with Dick Creasy in Washington.